So first, I would request you to introduce yourself, your company, industry, and your experience.
Sure. So my name is Saurabh Bagley, and our company is SMBA, and we are into architecture consultancy. So we do architecture, building design, urban design, project management for all kinds of buildings and projects. So that is what we specialize in.
Okay. And what about your work experience?
So work experience wise, I've worked in the US and then I worked in India. So it's been about close to 20 years that we've been doing this work. And so, yeah, that's what we have been done. So US worked under two companies. Then in India, we are working under our own company.
So why did you select this specific industry?
Why I selected? So two reasons, I think. One is that it's a very interesting industry to be in because it's a mix of creativity, technology, history, culture. So it attracted me. I liked it. And also, my parents were into this line of work. So I got a lot of exposure to this line of work. And so, first-hand exposure, sometimes you just hear about a profession or industry. And then, other than that, you see it in practice in your office. So that's also gives you a more, closer look to things. So overall, it attracted me. So I kind of liked it and got into it.
So can you give us some idea about how your industry has shaped in the last 8 to 10 years?
Well, it's been through a lot of process, and one of the reasons is that India, being a country which is growing rapidly, so it's the basis of that is urban infrastructure, and that further leads to architecture and buildings because infrastructure cannot happen without buildings. So last 10 years, there have been growth in various areas. So one is of course housing, a lot of affordable housing, number of people in India. Then logistics business, as you see, your Amazon and all these companies are rapidly expanding, so they need logistics and other things in urban infrastructure. So there has been growth. Some sectors have grown a lot, some haven't in this line of work as well. So yeah, that's why, yeah, it's been good.
And how do you foresee the industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
It'll further expand. I think personally, I feel that it this particular industry, because it's linked to real estate and infrastructure, and both these the government will be pushing more and more. And because this is one of the lifelines for any country to grow, not just India, any country. And if India has to grow, this sector has to grow, which will kind of impact architecture and design as well. So I think it will be a lot of work happening in this sector for sure.
So can you please throw some light on the challenges you faced during the initial years of your career and your advice to youngsters to overcome or avoid these kind of challenges?
Well, challenges are of two kinds. So in my case, I can say like, I graduated and I went abroad for my master's and then I started working. So it was a challenge of a different kind because before I did my master's, I didn't have much practical experience. So I would definitely recommend to people having gone through this whole process that once they complete their graduation, they should have some years of experience before they go for their masters if they intend to do that. And then it will help them when they start off their career. So some practical knowledge is very good, on ground knowledge. It just helps you shape things better. And yeah, I think that would be probably one of the challenges that I faced because I did my studies in one go and then I started working. So I think a little bit of work experience always helps before you do your masters and other things.
So what kind of job opportunities can youngsters expect in your industry over the next years?
Well, as I said, it's going to be a growing industry, and job opportunities will be there, of course, and it's a dynamic industry, so there will be good opportunities for, I think, youngsters. It's always good to be part of a stream of line of work which is growing, and this line is going to grow. So I think it will be a good future for every youngster coming into the field.
So, what would you suggest to students to study and work in India or to study and look for
Right.
better opportunities overseas? And according to you, where are better opportunities? As you said, you've worked in the US and in India.
Right. So I think, like personally, I believe it's very subjective because I think opportunities are everywhere. You just need to be good at what you do. If you're in India, if you're abroad, it doesn't matter. It will be good. But I definitely feel that a person should get an exposure abroad because the dynamics is very different. So I would suggest that either they study here and then they go abroad and study further, because specialization will be very important. Addressing your previous question, that what opportunities also I see for youngsters, I think opportunities will be there, but for people, if they want a good growth track, they need to specialize, because general things, don't lead people anywhere. So specialization will be very important for a growth track. And I think so ideal trajectory according to me would be that a person does their bachelor's here, goes abroad for their masters, works there for a couple of years, and then of course it's up to the person. They want to live abroad, they want to live in India, work wherever. It's a very global, as a global scenario, you can work honestly anywhere, you can shift countries, it doesn't take much. And so I think any both places are good, depends on the person, but your exposure abroad is very important.
Okay,
I
so
very strongly.
basically, people nowadays are like, India doesn't care about our skill set and all. So, do you think that's
Right.
true? And if we go out, we'll get better job opportunities, we'll get a better package, we'll get better facilities.
That is, to some extent, I would say true, mainly because India has too many people. So for every one thing, there are just too many people to do the same job. So as I said, if you're really good at what you do, people want you. And if you're not, if you're general, if you're not a specialized person, then you're part of a general crowd. And India has too many people who are doing general things. So that's the main thing. And so if you specialize and if you're very good at what you're doing, then I think you're in India, you're abroad, it's the same. So it totally depends on the person, actually.
Yeah, so that was it, I guess. And if any advice you'd like to give in general to youngsters who are planning to study abroad or in
Right.
India or for the future.
Well, I would definitely say one thing which I've learned is that you should do something which you really, really enjoy, because you're going to do that for a lot of time of your life. And if you really enjoy it, you'll excel in it and you'll grow like anything. So yeah, I would say just make sure you do something that you really enjoy.
So I guess that was it. Uh,
Great, Rishabh. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Uncle.